3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Buckhouse Podcast, the number one podcast in the world. We are your hosts, Benjamin Buckhouse and Johnathan Buckhouse, right over there. We're just two brothers that enjoy a lot of the same hobbies, and we just talk and do our own things and everything like that. This is episode 20. Johnathan and I have talked a ton about how most podcasts don't get past the 10th episode. And the fact that we have now doubled that is incredible. That feels amazing. We're almost at half a year, which is also crazy. In 6 weeks, we'll be at half a year, which is, oh my goodness, that is mind-blowing. I am so excited. I know that later in the numbers, people get lost in the sauce. They're like, what episode are we in? Like 146 or something? And I'm like, we're going to get there, and I cannot wait for that. How are you feeling on this morning, bro?
I'm exhausted. I had a lot the last 2 days. Me and Roman were at a skateboard camp for him. Skateboard, snowboard, trampolining, like all action sports in one camp at a place called Snowbond in Thornton, Colorado. And if it wasn't me and my wife's anniversary tomorrow, we would have spent the whole week down there, and I probably would have died. I mean, I'm skating and trampolining and snowboarding from 8 to 4 p.m. Or 9 to 4 p.m. I'm exhausted. Physically, mentally, my spirits are high because I felt like a kid the last 2 days. But I'm also doing 75 hard, so I'm exhausted.
A little all over the place. There's a lot to talk about in that actually that I would love to dive into. So let's make like a little bulletin point checklist on our heads right now. I want to talk about that snowboard thing that you were talking about, that like snowboard camp, skateboard camp thingy. Also your anniversary, which is a big one, 10 years, and then also 75 hard. I want to hear your schedule on that. But let's start with the like skateboard, snowboard camp thingy. So this was like an indoor kind of trampoline, skateboarding, snowboarding, like huck it, but you're gonna land in a foam pit type place, correct?
Yeah, so the first of their kinds were kind of like, well, first they were trampoline parks that people used to train for like the Olympics and things like that. Then they started opening them up to the public, and then all of a sudden you started seeing all these like sky zones and other trampoline places start opening up all around, the United States, probably the world, for kids to go and get more rad at flipping and spinning and all that kind of stuff. Then Woodward was introduced, which is like this action sports focus that had like foam pits for you to launch your skateboards, snowboards, skis, bikes into the foam pit to learn, all these crazy flip tricks and spins and not get absolutely wrecked. Well, now there's a couple new companies coming out with not only still more ways to chuck yourself on skateboard, scooters, bikes, whatever, onto. This one had a airbag landing, which honestly still was pretty brutal to slam on. But they have trampoline parks, airbags to jump into. And the biggest thing that Snowbond has is a treadmill snowboard thing where it's a carpet that runs like a treadmill and you're able to snowboard on it. So you can practice your turns. If you dial it in, you can do like 180s and spins and butters. It's pretty crazy. The facility in itself is so rad, and if I was a kid, it would be my absolute dream place to be all the time, especially in the summertime. And it is really cool to get the opportunity to work with them and get Roman into their camps and just provide that, like, once again, if I was a kid, I'd want to be there, and to be able to take Roman there. I couldn't get him off the trampolines. He was having so much fun learning flips and seeing other kids, and it's cool because whenever we do these things, he ends up always being like the youngest kid there, and because usually they're giving us an exception because I'm there to promote their facility or whatever, and they're like, normally we don't let 6-year-olds come to camp, but we'll make an exception for Roman. So he's the youngest dude there, and he's like getting to see the older kids kill it, so then he like wants to do it, and it's a really rad experience. And so if you haven't checked out any of these like trampoline action sports progression things, and you have one, kids do that, 2, for yourself, if you're trying to improve, they're really rad and awesome ways to get better at skiing and snowboarding or any other action sport.
That's awesome. And seeing like the footage of it, it's both like the coolest stuff ever and like the scariest stuff ever. I don't know. I've seen so many like treadmill fails on the internet, so that it's kind of one of the, like, not a fear of mine, but kind of like a I don't really mess with treadmills because they can kind of mess you up type deal. So it looks like a lot of fun. And
it's funny because I'm terrified in this place. Like, as much as it's a place to progress safely and like get super rad without getting hurt, I, one, get hurt. I jammed the living crap out of my finger. But two, I'm just like, okay, this airbag is designed so I can like chuck meat safely. But when you land in the airbag, it's giving you like bag burn and your head hits it and then stops. So your helmet's like jamming into your neck and you're getting like whiplash and like you're still getting beat up and you still can get really hurt, especially if you like land straight on your feet. You can like break your ankles and things. So you're supposed to fall. There's ways to fall or learn properly. So you got to get like good at these other ways of progressing and learning. That it's all percentages. It's like, okay, if I chuck me into this airbag, I can't really ride away. But if I can put it to my feet and I can see what I was doing mentally, I can take that 3% that I just got better at that trick to the snow and use that 3% to make sure that I actually land this trick opposed to getting lost and slamming. So I don't know. It's all fun at the end of the day and do it while you can because you're going to get old one day and not be able to chuck meat. So send it.
here you go. Send it. Now, I find like weird things, or I don't know how to explain. Like I just have weird thoughts towards certain things in the world, and what I mean by that is, speaking of airbags, right? Air is such a like, it's a necessity, right? Oxygen, right? We need it, but it's also like we don't see this thing, we don't feel it. It's just here, that type of stuff. But then you put it in a bag, and it's scary. And what I mean by that, you're hucking into a bag of air, but it's gonna be painful. But it's also, I know these, you can't compare them to the full extreme here, but it's like an airbag in the car. Airbags in cars literally break people's arms and stuff. Like, it's crazy. Now, of course, that's at like extreme forces and everything, but
it also saves their life. It's like, yeah, it's like, it's going to wreck you, but it saves you.
But it's also like water. Water is a huge necessity in our life, right? We need water. We need water. Water is how we live, but also water is like one of the most destructive things in the world. Like, just, floods or hurricanes or corrosion and all that. Like, water is both like a necessity and an evil at the same time. It's crazy the way that nature is and the way that science is and all that. It's crazy how like, I love that stuff.
Well, speaking on the note of water and necessity, it is a necessity to drink a gallon of water a day in 75 hard. And I have a half gallon with me right now. So I have to drink, I'm holding up the water bottle now for all the listeners. I have to drink 2 of these things a day. I've been getting it done by like 4 p.m. I will say the moment I get the water portion of the day out of the way, I'm like, yes, that's so nice. And it is a lot easier to drink all the water when you're doing the 2 workouts a day. If you don't know what 75 hard is, it's a challenge. It's not really a specific like diet or type thing, but you're supposed to work out twice a day. One of them has to be outside. You have to read 10 pages of a book every day. I'm reading What Got You Here Won't Get You There, which, bro, this honestly could be a really good book for you. I'm really enjoying it. It's a lot about leadership skills and how you interact with other people and stuff like that. You have to take a progress photo each day, which is like the most pointless thing, I think. I think like a progress photo once a week or at the end of the week would be way more helpful than every single day because your body doesn't change every day. But I think it's just to kind of keep you motivated. What else you got to do? 2 workouts. Oh, you have to be on a diet. So instead of being like a whole 30 for 75 days, because it's already hard enough to do a whole 30 for 30 days, I decided just to do a calorie deficit. So I should be roughly eating about 2,300 calories a day. Not 22,000. That's a lot of food. And so I'm doing a 1,800 calorie limit. So I'm at a 500 calorie deficit as my diet. So I can still eat. If I really want ice cream, I could eat it. It's just going to cut hard into my calorie count. So yeah, 75 hard. I feel great. I'm on day like 9 or 10, so I still have tons of days left in this. And the hardest part is just finding the time. I'll get like tomorrow, me and Bobby's 10-year anniversary. It's like, when am I going to work out twice a day when I'm supposed to be spending time with my wife the whole day? But she's doing it with me, which helps.
So you said the daily photo, you don't know why, like, you feel like it's a little pointless. I get that, but I'm also like, especially for you, bro, being a social media person, like a quote unquote influencer. I know you don't like that word, but being an influencer, you can literally post all 75 photos like in like a video where it's like plays, and you can line yourself up and it shows your progression throughout the day. So I think that could be really cool. But also I know that 75 hard is more of a mental challenge than it is a physical challenge. Even though you are working out twice a day, you are physically having to drink a gallon of water a day, and you have to be on this diet, right? It's a lot of physical stuff, but also it's just how mentally strong are you to do this for 75 days straight. No exceptions, no ifs, ands, or buts. You got to do it, right? And so I think that taking the daily photos, number one, like you said, motivates you, but also kind of tracks, in a way, it tracks your kind of like mental state throughout the time, right? I'm sure at the beginning you're motivated, you're smiling, you're happy, but by the middle you're like, can this be over yet, right? And then probably around that 60-day mark you get another spurge where you're like, it's just 2 more weeks. And then so to document that with photos of like kind of your where you stand each day is also probably a part of that challenge.
I didn't even think of it like that. That's a good point. Also, I didn't even think about the time lapsing all the photos, because I've been deleting the like 5 days ago photos. I'm like, I don't need these, delete them, because I don't want a trillion photos of me half dressed in my phone. It's a little goofy. But now that I see there's a reason to have those photos. Thanks, bro. But yeah, no, it's the mental thing. It's all day. It's don't procrastinate, because all of a sudden if it's the end of the night and you still got a half a gallon of water to drink, 10 pages of a book to read, and a workout, and it's 7 p.m., you're in it for a long night. And I like to wake up early, so I try to get to it right away. My water intake today is a little on the slow, but I'll start chugging that soon. I've already got my 10 pages read today, and it's 5 a.m. And I was able to keep up with it even on those. Me and Roman went down and did those 2 skate day or camp day full days, whatever. And we stayed in a hotel because it was down in Thornton, Colorado, which is like an hour and a half from where I live. So I was able to knock out 75 hard. So yeah, that's the challenge of it, is finding how to get it done. Me and Roman are going to the Denver Bronco preseason game versus the Green Bay Packers coming up, and it's like, okay, like that's going to take the majority of my day. So I got to like wake up early, get a workout in, and then either come home from the game and get a workout in, or like go get another workout in before the game. I don't know. It's like, it's challenging. You got to figure it out. It's an inconvenience in your life. It requires discipline. And that's why it's called 75 hard. It's 75 hard days in a row, because you're adding so much more into your plate.
I really wanted to do 75 hard, and we've talked about this. But one of the things I needed to do before doing 75 hard was I needed to prove to myself that I can go to the gym regularly again before committing to doing 2 workouts a day for 75 days straight, right? Baby steps type of deal. So I actually have been going to the gym. I've been going to the gym for the last like 2 weeks now. Feeling pretty good about it. I mostly do a timed amount on the cycle, or the bicycle, like the indoor bicycle. And then I also do kind of like a full body EMOM style workout, where I essentially will do like 5 workouts in like a 10-minute period or something like that. It's kind of crazy how that sounds, but it's like I'll do like 4 sets of 5 workouts in about like 10 minutes time. And what I'll do is I'll do kind of like bicep curls, and I'll go to like a bench press immediately. Like I'll go from bicep curls straight into bench press. And then after I did bench press, I went straight into, I always forget what they're called, but the back workout where you like pull down, right? Just like bar pull downs or whatever. I always forget the name of those ones. And then like a tricep extension right after that. And then as soon as I'm done with the tricep extension, I go straight back into the biceps, and then straight into bench press. And then, the the pull down and all that. So it's like a continuous flow of working different muscles, but it's kind of like a cardio style of doing it. So that's kind of what I've been doing the last couple of weeks. And then I want to redirect my routine to be more like muscle group oriented. So do like triceps and bench press on one day, do biceps and back on another day, and then do kind of a mixture of them, but mostly a like leg workout on a third day type deal. So that's what I've been working towards, and I've been enjoying it.
Oh, I'm proud of you, bro, for getting in the gym. For you and for anyone out there, like, there is literally zero wrong way of doing it. Just get out there, get moving, get lifting, it's just, anything's better than nothing. And in a world where people love to tell you that you're wrong or you're doing something wrong, don't listen to them. You know, it's one of those things where I could post like, oh, I'm doing 75 hard, and some people would be like, what diet you on? I'm like, oh, I'm doing this. They're like, that's wrong. That's this. Like, it's like, hey guys, I'm doing stuff at the end of the day. It's better than doing nothing. And so, yeah, bro, I'm proud of you for getting in there. I don't care if you went in there and only worked out your biceps. At the end of the day, getting in the gym is great for you. And I did hear this thing that, like, because I want to live like forever. I want to be like the dude that's so old. It's like he needs to go and he won't. He's sticking around. But I heard if you want to live extra long, having strong legs is one of the best ways to live longer, because the stronger your legs are, the better your balance is going to be. And most people, when they get older, tend to fall. And that's what takes them out, is falling downstairs or falling, breaking their hips, or like, you know, the old person fall takes out more people than you would know. So you got to have those strong legs.
Honestly, legs are the hardest thing for me. And legs are the hardest thing for a lot of people, right? There's all the memes of like chicken legs and things like that, where, you know, muscular guys with their tiny legs because they always skip leg day. I don't mind leg day as a whole, as in, like, I don't mind working out my legs. And yeah, I'm going to be sore for the next 2 to 3 days, depending on how early it is into my workout time and all, like as in, you know, did I just get back into the gym like right now, or have I been working out for, you know, months now type of deal. But where I struggle is like, I don't have good knees. I don't know why my knees are so bad, right? In compare, like, yeah, I went snowboarding with you a ton, 130 days in a single season, but you've snowboarded that for the last, 15 years. So I don't know why my knees are.
I know why your knees are bad.
Why?
It's all muscle imbalances and stuff. Because I had bad knees, and I thought it was because of snowboarding. And then I went to physical therapy, and they taught me how to strengthen all the muscles around my knees. I have zero knee pain now. And I snowboard all the time, and I've taken jumps flat. So I gotta show you some of these knee workouts and stretches and things that I do, bro. They'll be a life changer for you. And they're super simple, and they don't require a ton of work. And it's crazy because some people go their whole life with these insane pains and things, and they think that they need surgeries and all that type of stuff, when it's like, yo, no. You just gotta do this super simple workout that you can do on any stair or curb anywhere in the world, and your knee pain will go away.
So I will need you to teach me that, because even if I'm just whether I'm working out, whether I'm running, whether I'm biking, whether I'm not doing anything, my knees just hurt. And sometimes it feels like there's just a stabbing pain inside my kneecap. I have no idea where it comes from or anything. It just hurts.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I will send you some workouts today via video, bro, for your knees.
Thank you. I need them. Because that prevents me from wanting to do certain workouts. So squats, just the squat workout is extremely painful for me. My knees struggle with it a ton. So it's not like a love the pain, feel the burn, you feel it in your muscles. No, my knees are just in pain. That's all. That's the only description I can get. It just feels like there's knives in them. The sitting squat machine, or the leg press machine, that is a lot better for me. For whatever reason, still hurts, but that's a lot better than squats. So I can do that one. But it's leg curls, no problems with those. What is it? Calf raises, those aren't that bad or anything like that. But yeah, just the actual squat workout is so painful for me that it pretty much like I avoid it for that only reason. Now I've been really enjoying doing the bike stuff. I know that can only make my muscles going from like pretty much zero back up to, hero, whatever you want to say. But like, starting from zero, the bicycle is actually pretty good for just like getting my legs warmed up and moving again. So I've been enjoying that. Something that Johnathan mentioned that I also really liked about it was like low impact. I also kind of messed up my ankles snowboarding a while ago, and so occasionally, like I always have a ankle brace on when I go to the gym for that reason. But so that bike being low impact makes cardio so much more enjoyable for me. So that's what I've been sticking with. Yeah,
it's moments like these that make me hate that we don't live next to each other, because it'd be so nice to be like, yeah, bro, let's go to the gym today. I'll just show you how it's done. But you're 2.5 hours away, so it's so much harder. But I'll either send you videos or I try and FaceTime you and show you these things that I've learned over the years. And that's because like health is a journey, and I've been focusing a lot on it the last couple of years because I want to snowboard as long as I can. So yeah, when I'm getting knee pain and it's hurting to just snowboard, I had to figure it out. I've lost roughly, I'm sitting around like 25 pounds lost from my heaviest weight. But when I do like Whole30 or if I do a cut, I usually get down like 30 pounds lower than the heaviest I've ever weighed, which it feels really good. And it's nice to see a lot of comments from people like, dang, dude, like I haven't checked in a while and like you're looking really healthy and you're looking really good. When you start when other people start saying like your health journey is paying off, that's a really cool spot to be at. But it took me so long, and I still have struggles, and don't beat yourself up if you are trying to lose some weight or start eating healthier. I will say with time, with small wins, like it becomes easier and easier. It's easier for me to eat healthier now since I've done multiple Whole30s and seen how my body reacts to food. And now that I'm trying the 75 hard, like Ben was saying, he's not going to go straight into 75 hard. He's going to get small wins a little bit, build some momentum, and then go for it. And then if he doesn't, at the end of the day, like that's okay, because it's a journey and he'll start back up another time type situation. So don't beat yourself up too much. It's really hard. Being healthy is really hard. I will say I'm lucky when it comes to legs that technically we're snowboarding every day is leg day, and I snowboard 5 days a week. My legs are pretty strong. They look really good. I don't got chicken legs just from my activities. But I went mountain biking 3 days ago at Copper. They have this new bike park. I've never had this. I've like mountain biked at bike parks. I've mountain biked a bunch. I did like 6 runs. And by the end of the day, my calves were burning so bad. And for the last 3 days, I couldn't stand up. My calves were so sore. It was like the most brutal experience of my entire life, having extremely sore calves. And I had to bail on a full day of activity because I couldn't stand up. And I stand up and they still hurt right now, but I got to the point where if I get my body moving enough, I can like kind of forget that they hurt and go skate or something. But sore calves, it's rough.
I would love to get into mountain biking, but so I've tried too, and I'll explain it. So I would love to get into my mountain biking, but every time I jump on a bike, I feel it in my legs. So it's like I clearly don't have the muscles for that right now. Like I feel it on a flat surface. I'm like, that is bad. Like I know that I haven't been physical, and that's why my muscles are so weak when it comes to. So that's why I've been really trying to get back into the gym, and because I know that like people's bodies will start hurting when they aren't working out. So it's like some of this pain is probably because of my lack of activity. So it's like I need to get back into that. So I'm kind of building up and doing that indoor cycling stuff to build up to like I want to go to like Palmer Park and ride my bike. Like I want to do that. Were you about to say something, bro?
Yeah, I was going to say there's pain in 2 ways. There's pain by not working out and not being healthy. Your body's going to ache and have pain. Or there's pain because you went in the gym and you stretched those muscles and you hurt those muscles and now they need to recover. But what pain do you want? I can tell you from personal experience, the pain of, I pushed my body and it's sore because it was worked out and it was put through some stress is a much better pain than, I haven't done anything. I've kind of been chilling around. I feel lazy. because there's the mental pain to that, but there's also the like, your body is, dude, the human body is like the most incredible thing on the planet, and it can do so many different things. They had like professional divers running in the facility, and they're like jumping off and doing like 40 flips into water, and you're just like, the human body can do so many different things on so many different levels, and it's all about what you focus on and what you want to achieve and who you want to be. But yes, get out there and move your body. That type of discomfort, pain is so much better than the discomfort and pain of sitting around and doing nothing. And on the point of getting your legs stronger, bro, I love the stationary bike. I stationary bike all the time. It's one of my favorite ways to keep my legs strengthened in the summertime. I love riding bikes. I want to get a road bike and get out on the road and start biking around. So I highly encourage you to keep biking, bro. Biking is rad.
You're gonna be one of those guys on the highway that's or not the highway, but on the street that's riding in the way of traffic, huh? That's gonna be you. No, I'm joking.
Wearing really tight clothes. Oh, it's gonna be me. I want to bike across. I don't know if you ever heard this, but I want to bike across America. I truly do.
No, we've talked about that.
When I turn 40, bike across America. I need to start like getting into that more. I'm 37, so it's 7 years of preparation. But I like to set crazy goals or like think ahead, and I think that'd be a really cool point in life, because I think 40 is that people at 40, that's when your body starts to decline. Not saying you can't, like, it isn't that it's like a crazy fast decline or anything, but I think that's a turning point where you're like, okay, I'm now going into my older years. I have the choice of, am I going to go into a decline where I stop doing anything physical, anything action sports, or am I going to go all in and do even more than I've ever done and stay young? Because I'll tell you what, I want to be jumping on trampolines with my grandkids, and I want to be still snowboarding with Roman's kids, and I want to ride with Roman's kids type situation. So it's, I don't know, I want to turn 40 and be radder than I was when I was 20.
That's awesome, bro. Well, real quick, 2 things. First, you scared me, so I have to point this out. You are not 37 years old. For a second, you scared me. I was like, holy cow, he's 37. I was like, wait, no, he's not.
I'm 33. I have 7 years till I'm 40.
Yes. Okay. You genuinely scared me. I was like, there's no way that Johnathan, I just blindly like kind of believed you for a second. I was like, wait a minute, he's 37. I was like, no, he's not. Ashley's not even 30. I was so worried for a second. You okay? Johnathan's not 37. That scared me because that made me feel so much older.
Did I say that? I thought.
Yes, you did.
I'm 37, so it's 7 years. I thought I said I'm 33. I have 7 years until I'm 40.
Maybe I heard it wrong. Regardless, you scared me for a second because I was like, I'm what? Does that mean I'm 29? Like, yeah. Anyways, and then secondly, I just wanted to say this quote. I've heard it a few times, and it made me. It's how like I like the quote. It's from that, I forget his name, but the motivational speaker that goes by like E.T. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. So E.T. he has like a quote, I believe, where he says, "You've already felt pain."
Earl Thomas.
That's what it is. Yeah. He's like, you already felt pain. You might as well get a reward from it. So to touch on what you were saying about like, there's another quote of like suffer now or suffer now type. It sounds redundant, but suffer now or suffer now. And it's like, it's usually a picture, and I'll have it up on the screen for you viewers, but it's like, no offense, but somebody that's like overweight, sitting on the couch, eating potatoes and like in pain and suffering, or somebody that's extremely fit, but he's in the gym working his butt off, and that person's suffering too. It's like, what type of suffrage do you want? And then the whole ET quote is like, you already feel pain, might as well get a reward out of it. So it's like, I might as well have the good body and the good, physique and all that stuff. So I mean,
if we're pulling quotes out, one of my favorite is from Jim Rohn. And it's not so much of a quote as he was giving a seminar, and he's like, it's all hard. Being broke is hard, but being wealthy is hard. It's hard to be out of shape and miserable, but it's also hard to be in shape and disciplined. Like, so pick your hard, wait till you get and he has the same thing for regret, where it's like, did I just lose it? It's like, wait till you get the bill for regret or something like that. You know, it gets pick your heart 100%, and because it also comes with the reward. You know, like it is rewarding to sit on the couch and eat chips and just watch football and drink a beer. I love doing that, but that's not gonna get, you know, that's gonna make you feel like crud eventually. Where I might feel like crud in the gym, but eventually I'm gonna feel that relaxation, that good, the same good you get from eating the chips and drinking a beer and watching some football. You watch football on the treadmill?
100%. And what I've been doing on the treadmill is, I made a gym playlist of like pretty much all my favorite songs that are some type of like upbeat, motivated. Like there's some meaning behind the lyrics type to them, and so I've been listening to that. And holy cow, certain songs, they hit so different, especially if you're like working out than if you're just like jamming in the car. But also, like, so I have noticed a change in me in the last couple of weeks since going to the gym of like, so I don't know why, but it's not that I've never been a lyrical person. I've been a lyrical person when it comes to music for a little bit now. Particularly, I wanted to point this out a while ago, but Johnathan and I started listening to NF, who's like a bigger rapper nowadays. But Johnathan found NF when he was much smaller in 2017, and since then, I remember Johnathan showing me the song "Grindin' by NF in the Target warehouse. I vividly remember it, and ever since then, we've been hooked on NF. But so like I love listening to his lyrics, but like right now I'm listening to some of his songs and I'm hearing new lyrics. Like I'm like, how did I miss that? Or I hear it differently, and I'm like, that's so cool. Or I'm listening to songs I haven't listened to in so long, and I'm like understanding the lyrics so much more. And it's like, I don't know, it's helping me through this like kind of like rough patch I'm in right now. So I'm really enjoying that. But then I'm also,
it's called getting older. Not joking.
It's called getting older. So yeah, I don't want to like keep blaming stuff on stuff, but it's like I do have some ADHD tendencies, and so like sometimes it's hard for me to pay attention to stuff. And when I notice in music, I can pay attention to the beat really well, as in like you could just play a beat to a song and I'll know what it is. But it's like I can think of a lyric from a song, but I couldn't tell you what song it's from or any of that. So like, or this or that. Or it's like sometimes some of my favorite songs of all time, I couldn't tell you. Like I couldn't sing the lyrics. Like it's crazy. Like I don't know. I don't know lyrics that well. Whereas like my wife, on the other hand, she can listen to a song 4 or 5 times and literally be able to sing the entire thing. She knows the lyrics that well, but she may not know the beat as well. So I know that everyone's brains work differently, and that's what makes humans so cool and so fascinating. But it's like my brain, I understand the beats, or I hear the beats mostly, and then the lyrics is kind of like the background stuff. Whereas other people, it's like lyrics are the foreground and the beat is the background, right? So it's just fascinating. But another thing though is I like Audible because of that ADHD stuff I was kind of talking about, where it's like sometimes reading a book. If I'm reading a book, I can read an entire chapter and be thinking about something completely different, and so I have to reread that entire chapter. So sometimes Audible is good for me for that and things like that. And it's an intense book title. You'll learn this about me. I love intense book titles, but the book that's really affecting who I am right now in a positive way is actually, it's called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F. I'll just say that. That's what it's called. It sounds intense, but really what it is touching on exactly what you were just saying, bro, of like, everything's hard. Being poor is hard. Being rich is hard. Everything is hard. And it's one of those, just like, this book is kind of like the Nobody Cares Work Harder style, but also it talks about how it's like the author was saying, he's like, I wanted to be a rock star. Like I loved the idea of being a rock star, but I didn't want to put in the hours of learning and doing the work to become a rock star. So he's like, I loved the idea of being a rock star, but I didn't love doing like the work for it. So life is just about finding like what BS, what crap, what hard are you willing to deal with? Like what are you willing to go through your life doing? For Johnathan, it's snowboarding. Johnathan loves like the trials and tribulations of snowboarding. Yeah, it's a fun thing, but it's also a hard thing, and it's an exhausting thing, and you have to put in a lot of work, and you have to put a lot of work outside of the sport, like going to the gym to work on your knees, like Johnathan was talking about. That's the hard that Johnathan chose, and that's the hard that he loves. And now look at him, right? And so That's what that book's talking about. And there's a lot of just really intense like reality checks in there for me. So that's what I've been enjoying right now. Yeah.
I know what book you're talking about. It's funny because I now look at my closet. I'm looking at it right now, and I have like 30 books, and I've read the majority of them. I got a couple that are like my upcoming books, and from someone I couldn't read in the 9th grade because my mom homeschooled me, and like I didn't get a proper education in my younger ages, and so to think back that I'm now this person that I've sought education so hard in my adulthood, and that I have a bookshelf full of books that I've read that have helped me become a smarter, wiser, more motivated, driven person. I don't know, it's kind of crazy, but that was the hard that I chose. I could have continued to go through life not knowing how to read well, and that's hard. Or I started reading books, and I'm a much better reader and maybe a much better speller. I still have plenty of oofs. Usually they're just like, I type too fast oofs or something like that, but I still misspell stuff often or use the wrong spelling of the same word because English sucks. But yeah, I mean, life is hard and unfair. I talked to a kid last night on my live stream that was like, my parents just separated, my dad's now doing drugs and alcohol, and he was just like, we got very vulnerable in the live stream, and I was able to kind of like speak from a little bit of my experience, to then also like try to hopefully help encourage them and motivate them. And I think I talked about in the last week's episode, I really encouraged him to work on yourself for your dad. You know, you can't work on him, like he's doing his thing right now, but you can focus on you and what you're doing and how you're improving. So work on yourself for your dad, and that will hopefully help him get better because he'll see how well you're doing and want to be a part of your success. Hopefully, you know, nothing's guaranteed.
It's an awesome experience, bro. Like, obviously it sucks that that's happening to that kid. But for you to be able to be there, be that influence for him, that's amazing. I've had similar experiences with my live streams, and that's what honestly makes live streaming, and that's what makes like being a social media person, like, honestly, in my opinion, that's what makes it, is like to be able to, I was talking about it, I can't remember if we've talked about this on the podcast, but it's like my why, although I've struggled with it a little bit, but it's like my why truthfully is like, to like be a better influence on the younger generation. I believe that the world is extremely kind of corrupt and bad and stuff like that. And a lot of people, like a lot of issues we have in this world right now is a lack of like a strong male role model and things like that. And so I find that to be inspiring to like want to do that, to want to be a strong role model in the younger generation and everything like that. And like I said, some of the people on my live streams are younger, and like they'll open up a little bit, and you can tell that they're not they're in a tough spot due to their parents and stuff like that. So to be a positive influencer, just to make their day better for like 15 minutes is it's honestly the best part of doing all of this. And hearing your guys' comments in our in the comment section down below of like the way what you gathered from this podcast, or what you enjoy from it, or what you didn't enjoy, just anything about it is like that's the most rewarding part about all of this, in my opinion.
Well, for me, it helps me with the early mornings, because we all know I like to wake up at 3 a.m. to try and get as much stuff done so I can spend time with my family. But I don't do that because I want to. You know, I'm tired most of the time, and a lot of times it's like, you're dragging feet. You're like, oh, I'm so tired. I'm so this, like, but I got to get this edit done because this video is gonna inspire someone. It's gonna help someone. Even if it's just the fact that I said, I'm gonna post daily, and here I am posting daily, and someone might not even watch the video, but they go on YouTube and be like, yep, Buckhouse did it. Another day, he posted. And they might not even watch that video, but they see the receipt, they see the check-in. They're like, oh, he's still showing up. He's still grinding. Can inspire people, and the countless number of like, dude, you taught me how to snowboard. Me and my dad have a better relationship now because we started watching your channel together, and then we started skiing together, and now we're like best friends when we were having hard times. Like, messages like that, like they never get old. They're so rad, and they just keep me motivated to keep doing what I'm doing.
Very nice. Very nice. I feel like I had something to say. I don't remember what I was gonna say. Yeah, I've got this thought, so let's just transition to this, I guess. Going back to the working out thing. So I know that I've been fortunate with at least this part of my life, and that is I have worked out in different parts of my life with when I moved up to the mountains, Johnathan and I were going to the gym together. There was a 24-hour style fitness place, and we were going there at like midnight sometimes and stuff. We were so all over the place. But so like Johnathan and I went to the gym there.
We were getting it.
But then our older brother Tyler, he's actually also really into fitness, and he's been into fitness for a long time now. I mean, he's a firefighter, right? He kind of should be into fitness quite a bit, but him and I would go to the gym a lot on different occasions, and so that's where I got this. Like, he taught me the style of like it's called EMOM, or every minute on the minute. And what that traditionally is let's say you're gonna do 5 sets of this workout, like 5 sets of bench press. So you set essentially a 5-minute timer, and it's 5 1-minute timers essentially. So for the first minute, you've got 1 minute to do the workout and then rest, and then the next minute starts, and guess what? You got that second minute to do the workout and rest. So essentially, you're constantly every minute you're doing a set of reps, right? So he was the one that taught me that. But then from there, we would normally end our workout with like a 4 or 5 piece together version of that. So it'd be like 20 to 25 minutes of every minute on the minute of doing the workout. It's kind of like a cardio style way of working out. And it's so efficient. Like you get so much more work done, so much more workouts done in that time. So I love it. But what I'm getting at is my brother Tyler taught me a lot of workouts, a lot of different workouts to pair together, a lot of ways to use certain machines, creative ways to use machines, right? He's taught me a lot of that stuff. And so the gym I'm going to is just the one at my my apartment's rec center or whatever, like the gym that they have. And yeah, they've got some cable machines, but they don't have an official bench press. They don't have an official this. They don't have an official squat rack. They don't have an official that. They don't have a lot of official stuff. But I'm looking at these cables or this or that, and I'm like, oh, I mean, I could do this workout with that, right? I could do like cable flies, or I could do like this, or like just knowing so many different workouts to do. It's allowed me to look at the gym equipment and be like, oh yeah, I can make this work. I can make a workout out of this. This is easy. But I feel like most people look at that and they're like, oh, this doesn't have a bench press, or this doesn't have a squat rack. I can't work out here. This isn't good enough for me. But it's like, I'm just looking at it for what it is and being like, how can I make this work? And like doing that. And so that's something that wasn't stopping me from going to the gym. What was stopping me is just purely like kind of fear of like getting back into the gym. But it was more so it's like, I'm happy that I have that foundation. But so many people use that as an excuse of like, oh, they've got a Smith machine for their bench press. They don't have a real bench press. They got a Smith machine. I can't work out here. I've worked out on Smith machines, and they're great. They're actually really safe too. And I'm like, it is what it is. Everyone's different, but I'm like, I'm happy for myself that I'm like making it work in a not so great situation.
I'm happy you're in the gym because I can't have a brother with spaghetti arms. You got it. That's what if you have no reason to work out, you're like, why should I work out? I don't need to be healthy, but just work out so you don't get spaghetti arms. Because have you ever seen a grown man with spaghetti arms? It's not good.
I never had like massive arms, but I never had like, I don't know. I'm you and I have a similar build physically, of like that kind of like shorter, kind of stockier. So like I looked decent before going to the gym, as in like I had some mass around my arms, my forearms, and my legs. Like I had some mass there. My stomach wasn't perfectly tight the way that I want it to be, and it still isn't. Obviously, you got to put in the work for that. But it's more so it's like I didn't look bad. I didn't look skinny. I didn't look fat or anything like that. So that's kind of, I mean, I technically have a progress photo I could just have pop up right here. But it's like I didn't have like spaghetti arms, so I'm happy about that. But it's more so like reasons why I kind of want to get into the gym right now is like I said, it's like I know that there's the pain of not working out, and I've felt that. So it's like I just need to feel the pain of working out and just get that reward from it. So that's where I'm at with it right now. Also, this sounds like a very weird way of motivating, but I thought of kind of like a joke post that's a progress. It's a serious post of like a progress where it's like, the time frame I put in my head, which could be any time frame, would be like 6 months, or it's like it's a crazy what 6 months could do. But it'd be kind of like funny, the progress photo itself. So I'm like, almost that's motivating me to be like, I need to work out for 6 months straight just so I can make this one stupid funny post, and that's it. That's the only reason why I need to do it. So that's that's where I'm at.
I don't know why my brain went this way, but it'd be so funny to do a reverse progress photo and talk about how you're so happy that you're out of shape now.
So have you seen that guy? I think he's ex-military, but he was a fitness social media guy for a while. And what he decided to do, which I don't think that this is a fair assessment, or it's not a fair way of showing it, but it's like he literally gained like 180 pounds or something on top of what he was. He was like almost 300 pounds or something. Or he was like probably like a 180, 190, and then got up to 300 pounds just to show you that he can lose it all again. And he did. So it's kind of that like, Supersize Me, right? Or he like ate McDonald's every day for a month and everything. So like he literally gained so much weight just to show that he can lose it and like show you that process and everything. Sounds cool and all, but I'm like, that doesn't really help because you had that base foundation of going to the gym and being super fit and knowing the practice and having all that knowledge and having that mindset to then like challenging yourself to gain a bunch of weight and then to challenge yourself just to lose it, like just go back to where you were. I know that it was probably extremely difficult, but it's like when you never had that base foundation, it's not that easy to get down to it, like, yeah.
I mean, even just like learning how to lose weight and learning about calorie deficits, and like I'm starting with a calorie deficit in 75 hard, but my goal is to eventually get to where I learn how to count your macros. And so you're consuming the proper amount of proteins, you're consuming the proper amount of fats and carbs for your body / the results that you want with your body. And so like that stuff is difficult and it takes immense focus and really looking at like what you're eating and looking at the labels and all that type of stuff. Like you don't just go, I'm going to lose weight and then know how to do all that stuff. You got to like watch videos, you got to ask questions, you got to read books to learn how to do these things and get the education on how to be healthy. And like, that is a hard thing with the world we live in. Like you will take a health class in school that doesn't teach you how to be healthy. Like, I don't know. They don't teach you how to be healthy in school. So like you got to go pursue that on your own. Just like they don't teach you how to be financially free in school. You might take a finance class, but it's not going to truly teach you how to manage your money, pay your taxes, things like that.
Yeah. Speaking of our older brother Tyler teaching me stuff, Tyler did count his calories, count his macros for a while, bro. So maybe he can teach you that, right? Like I said, Tyler's really into fitness, so he's done this stuff for a while now. But you're not wrong. That's like an extremely difficult thing to do, of like keeping track of your calories. But it's also like, not only is it difficult to count your calories because you need to be paying attention to almost everything that you're consuming. You have to pay attention to every single thing that you're consuming, right? So that's difficult. But also you have to document it, so that's difficult. But then also, like Tyler would tell me stuff, which is just, this is extreme, but it's also like just the way he is. He was like, some days I just really want Chipotle. So I'll get Chipotle, but that means I can't eat dinner later in the night because I've ate all my calories for the day. And I'm like, that is crazy. Like he loved Chipotle so much that he was willing to sacrifice the rest of his day's eating habits for that one Chipotle meal. And I'm like, that's crazy to me. That's crazy. But
I almost did that for Taco Bell the other day. It's hard and you do got to track it all, but thank God that we live in a time frame now where there's apps and it's so much easier. Like I can scan the label of what I want to eat and the app knows what it is and already puts in the calorie count and the macros and things, like, so it's hard, but it's also never been easier. So, it's like, life.
I don't know if you've seen this thing on social media, like TikTok, Instagram, whatever. It almost seems too good to be true. And then after somebody showed me the explanation, it became a lot more believable, but it still seemed too good to be true. And it's one of those scales, right? Those little food scales. I literally have one behind me. I wish I could just quickly grab it. But the point is, it's one of those food scales. And this guy would like put a handful of chips inside a bowl on the scale. And he's like, and then it would calculate and tell you exactly how many like grams of fat, sugar, protein, all that. It would show you everything. And I'm like, there's no way that this is real, right? I was like, there's no way that this is real. This is way too good to be true. But then I found out what it is you scan with the scale, you scan the barcode. Yeah.
With the app.
And then so you scan the barcode, so then it knows the calorie, the information on it, the nutritional facts about it, right? And so then it can look at the amount, right? If it's like a 16 fluid ounce or whatever, and then if you put 4 fluid ounces in, it knows how to calculate it, so it tells you. And I'm like, okay, that makes more sense. Still seems a little too good to be true. It's probably not fully accurate, but I'm like, that still is a really cool product. That's a really cool system. So if you were to do that, bro, I would think that trying that is probably really a good idea.
My scale shows up this week, so.
Sorry, I did not hear you. I did not hear you at all. What'd you say?
I said my scale shows up this week, so.
You actually bought one?
Yeah, Bobby got one of them for us, which is a nice thing. So Bobby's doing 75 hard with me as well. She's just not doing a gallon of water because she's a little person. She's doing half a gallon of water a day. Because she did, the first day she tried a gallon, and she's like, not only am I literally peeing like crazy, but I feel like I'm going to throw up nonstop. And I was like, you're 75 hard, you can tailor it to however you want to do it. It doesn't have to be to the book, like the challenge that they created. You could whatever you want. You're setting. The point is that 75 hard days in a row. But I was really excited that Bobby wanted to do that with me. She's done Whole 30 with me, and I don't know. I feel like these like challenges we do as a couple together is a big reason why we are approaching literally tomorrow, hitting 10 years married and 16 years together since we started dating in high school. So we've been together forever. And on the note of being fat's hard, being skinny's hard, being healthy's hard, being unhealthy's hard, being in a relationship is hard. That's one of the hardest things you'll do in your life. But it's also like being single's hard, So once again, it all comes down to picking your hard. What hard do you want?
I want to touch on your wedding anniversary because that's a big one. But one last thing I was going to say about the 75 hard is, yeah, I've the main one that came out, was it made by David Goggins, bro, or was it just?
I have no idea who came up with it.
I can't remember who made it. I had the book at one point, but I actually ended up giving it to Tyler, so Tyler now has it. But it was made by.
There's a book for 75 hard.
Yeah. That's where it started. So 75 hard, like I said, it was created by. I'm gonna Google it real fast for us while we're talking about this.
I saw it on TikTok. Or
Andy Frisella. That's who created it in 2019. But yeah, there's a whole book for it. Like I said, Tyler has my copy of it, which is fine. I got it at the Goodwill, but so he has my copy of it. But it started off as this is what you do. It was 75 hard, and it's exactly what Johnathan's saying. Like 2 workouts a day, one of them has to be outside. You have to stick to a diet. The 75 hard itself is not a diet thing. It's a challenge. So it's like you have to stick to any diet, whatever diet works for you, whether it's a calorie deficit, whether it's Whole 30, whatever it is, you got to do that. You have to read 10 pages a day. You have to drink a gallon of water, all that stuff, right? Like that is 75 hard. No alcohol, no tobacco, nicotine, no smoking of any type. Also, that's in there. But it's like, yeah, and it's like, I'm pretty sure you're supposed to avoid sugar at the best you can. Now, of course, it's once again not like a diet thing, but it's like you're supposed to drink black coffee. You're not supposed to drink, a regular coffee. You can't go to Starbucks. Like you're not supposed to do that. That's the point of the show. It's really intense. But then since social media picked up on it and it became very popular and it became this new kind of like fad trend, if you will, sorry, but like that's, if you will, that's what we're calling it here.
No, it totally is. I'm jumping in on all the fads.
But, they've there's now like different versions of it, kind of like what Jonathan's saying. And there's literally, I'm looking at it on the screen now, it says who created 75 soft. So it's a version of 75 hard that's just not as difficult, where it's like you have to work out once a day. You only have to drink half a gallon. You only have, it's like a lot more relaxed. But I'm like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do the full one. But there is like 75 hard, 75 medium, 75 soft.
It's funny that someone made a softer
Dude, of course,
version.
in the world we live in, does it surprise you?
Everyone's
yeah,
soft.
like, does it surprise you at all that?
No, everyone's
but yeah,
soft.
so that's that. But no, it's a challenge. It's a hard challenge, right? Of doing it, and I want to do it. Like I said, I wanted to prove to myself, or not prove to myself. I know I could, but I wanted to get back into the routine of going to the gym. Not going to just go from being a couch potato style, like not going to the gym, to doing 75 hard. Like that is setting yourself up for failure. And the last thing I was going to say about 75 hard that Jonathan hasn't touched on is, this is the key part about it that makes it even harder, is if you miss a day, you have to restart back to day one. That's in the rules of the challenge. So if, let's say you made it to 74 and on the 75th day you took a cheat day, guess what? You're back down to day one. And if you really are doing this as the challenge of what it is, it's not easy in any way, shape, or form for those exact reasons. So I want to do it maybe closer to the end of the year, or maybe at the start of next year. I say that because my wife and I are going to Vegas for our birthdays, and that's in 2 weeks. I know it sounds bad that I'm like, I want to go drink, but that's like, we planned this trip to go to Vegas because we don't drink. We don't do that type of stuff. So it's going to be like a fun time for us to go and just enjoy ourselves, enjoy Vegas, and have like a little vacation together. And then after that, I can go and do 75 hard. So,
well, on the starting over aspect, I'm not doing that. By the way, because I looked at. Well, I have my summertime is like my extra hard on fitness and health and stuff. But once the season kicks off, like, it's impossible. Like it's from October to February is just grinding social media. It's when I make my money. It's when I got to be on type situation. And then the summertime, I get so much more time and freedom and the ability to do diets, work out. Not saying in the winter I don't, eat healthy and I don't work out, but like, I'm snowboarding 4 to 5 hours a day. I'm being very active, but I'm also like, pushing it's my on time. So I'm like going extra hard for tricks and things like that. I can't be exhausted. I got to be on point. It's like a NFL football player is not doing what they're doing in 2-a-days during the football season. Same thing with like basketball players, things like that. So there's still light workouts, there's still things, but it's not like, So I looked at what I had remaining this summer, and I was like, oh, it's like roughly around 75 days. Like I could literally end, if I started 75 hard tomorrow, I could literally end 75 hard like right as the first ski resorts are opening up. And so that is why I was like, okay, let's just do it. We're doing 75 hard right now. So if I do have a mess up day where I don't read the 10 pages or I didn't finish a gallon of water, we have this little like fill-in chart that we're doing. I'm just going to leave it unfilled in. I'm also making a whole YouTube video on the whole experience, which is my first ever like multi-month, took so long to film one video and tracking a progress of something, if that makes sense. Video, which is hopefully going to be really cool. And yeah, so it's like at the end of 75 days, I hoped that is all filled in and I crushed it, no issues. But if I don't, it'd be like, I messed up on day 40, I messed up on day 52, and I messed up on day 60. I didn't do these things. At the end of the day, I just want to be healthier going into the ski season. So,
oh, that's awesome. And no, I 100% know what you mean by this video. It's going to be a little daunting, bro. Like I said, this Minecraft video I've been working on, I'm done with the bulk edit. Doing some finishing touches on it. But to take 30 hours of footage and to condense it down into, I believe I'm around 40 minutes. It's a lot. Like it's a lot. So I know that your video isn't going to have.
You know what you could do for your 75 hard? You could do like one workout a day, but then like 15 minutes of editing a day.
No, bro. I told you if I'm gonna do 75 hard, I'm gonna do 75 hard.
You could change. I'm just saying you could change it to a more tailored for you 75 hard.
I do better with these types of challenges than other stuff though. Like for instance, like remember when I didn't drink for a year? Sure, that's like a completely different style challenge, but it's just like I just was like I'm just not gonna drink for a year, and like I just didn't. So it's like if I just set up for like 75 hard, it's like if I'm gonna do the challenge, I'm gonna make it known that I'm doing the challenge. Like it's gonna get done. It's gonna get done. But
I like challenges too. Yeah, if I commit to a challenge, I'm doing it fully.
I'm also gonna do like the original. I'm not gonna do 75 soft. I'm gonna do 75 hard.
Do it soft, bro.
All right. I think one last thing to wrap up this podcast, bro. What are you doing with Bobby tomorrow? What are you doing with your wife?
Absolutely nothing. we have never been anniversary celebrators, and so like I tried to be like, hey, like maybe we could do something big, like go to Hawaii and renew our vows, and like I wanted to do something big like that. She's not that person. She never will sit down and actually plan it. She'll be like, if that's what you want to do, then you do it. And like, that's one, not fun. Two, I'll like literally start the planning process and she'll be like, no. So we were supposed to go to Grand Junction today and go down and just camp in the RV for 3 days. But with the house needing to get restained and us having to leave for like 2 weeks, and the fact that me and Roman were out of town for the last 2 days at this snowboard camp that he got to be a part of, like just like we're not ready to leave in the RV. So it's like, what do we do? And then like I want to go snowboarding this weekend at Copper because there's still snowboarding up here. So it's like we might not even leave. We might not even, we might just make very mushy Instagram posts, and that's 10-year anniversary for us. I don't know. It's also hard because we don't have babysitters and things up here. So it's like, all right, it's our 10-year anniversary. Well, like, no one's going to watch the kids. Some people are graced with grandparents that will take the kids for 5 days so they can go on an awesome trip. Well, we're not very blessed with grandparents like that. So, or people in our lives like that. So it's like, well, we can't go on these like crazy trips or like go on a cruise or something like that. So 10 years, at the end of the day, I'm going to be with her all day. And I don't know. Are you guys big relationship celebrators? Or
I was just going to say, so it kind of surprises me that Bobby isn't, because she is so into like the holidays and stuff.
She's a holiday celebrator for sure, dude.
But I'm just surprised that she's not an anniversary celebrator for that same reason.
It's because she doesn't like me.
Same. No, admittedly, like, I'm not a big celebrator person. I don't really understand it. Like, I don't know how to explain that, but like, I don't know. I'm not, like, we talked about this when we talked about holidays. Like, I'm not a big holiday person. I don't really care for most holidays, let alone the ones I do care about. They're kind of just like, yay. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not a big celebratory person. So for me, she might be able to hear me, but she already knows this. Is like, I'm not super big into like the anniversaries or anything like that, but it has nothing to do with, it's not like, oh, I don't appreciate this marriage as much or blah, blah. No, it's just like, I don't celebrate stuff. So like for me, I'm not a big anniversary person, but I also know that like my wife is. She loves to celebrate birthdays and she loves to celebrate anniversaries. Her love language is gift giving, so that's a great time for her to do that. So I get it, and I'm here to support her in that process and what she enjoys doing, what she finds to be like the highlight of her month or her day or whatever, her year. If that's what means the world to her, then like that means the world to me. So this last or for a 1-year wedding anniversary, at that time I was working for Avis Budget, which I like worked on the weekends and it just wasn't ideal and stuff like that. I did end up just taking the day off for that, and we went up to Denver and had like a little Denver date. We went to museum and stuff, so that's what we did. But no, we do like to celebrate those days for our birthdays. Like I said, we're going to Vegas, things like that. So
I would say that as cliche as this might sound, I'm a big advocate of like, you don't just celebrate your marriage one day out of the year, which is your anniversary. Every day should be the anniversary. That's so cliche, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you should recognize your wife on a daily basis, not an anniversary basis. You should try and make her feel special or do special things consistently. So then it's almost like, oh, the anniversary is coming up. Well, I don't need to get you a gift because, like, I'm already giving you small gifts all the time type thing. And it's not this like, oh, once a year I finally get you something special. It's like, no, it just takes a lot of pressure off like these single dates, I think.
No, I know what you mean. Like, it's kind of like Valentine's Day. That's the common one where people are like, Valentine's Day is stupid. And I'm one of those people, to tell you the truth. I think that it literally is a holiday created by Hallmark to sell more Hallmark BS. But no, it's like, no, it's like, I don't need a day to celebrate love when I celebrate love every day type thing. So I 100% know what you mean. I agree with that. But like I said, it's those holidays.
That's another holiday that Bobby doesn't like to celebrate with me. We never did anything for Valentine's Day till we had kids, and now it's all about the kids.
Like I said, those holidays are like, my wife, she loves giving gifts. Like, she loves giving gifts to her family. She loves giving gifts to me. She loves giving gifts to friends. She loves giving gifts to colleagues. Like, that's what she finds enjoyment out of life, is giving gifts to people. And so those holidays are kind of like highlighted days for her to be able to express that love, express that enjoyment that she gets out of that. And she never expects anything in return. She is literally a gift giver. That's just what she is. And so I love that about her. And I know that's what makes all of those holidays, like the Christmases, the birthdays, Valentine's, anniversaries, all that stuff like that, just pulls it together for her. So we love that for her and everything. So yeah.
I just like, my love language is touch. I love to cuddle, squish, hang out. That's all I want to do. So yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do for our anniversary. Maybe we'll retouch that on next week's episode. We were trying to do an in-person episode and have Ben come up here, but my life fell apart. And then Ben's gonna be starting a new job soon. So it just didn't work out. But we're trying to get together soon, work on things with the podcast in person. Ben was going to help me get stuff ready for this upcoming season as well. So we'll find time for it, whether it's a weekend or something like that. But really excited for this podcast. I hope you guys are enjoying it. So subscribe if you are enjoying it, and obviously hit the like button, do all the stuff to help out the almighty algorithm gods over here on YouTube or whatever platform you are listening to.
Indeed. Comment down below, joining the conversation as well. We talked a lot today about kind of like gym stuff, challenges, marriages, stuff like that. So join in the conversation. We want to hear your guys' thoughts on it. Ask any questions you want. Maybe we'll touch on them next week in our episode 21 of the Buckhouse Podcast. Feeling pretty good, bro.
We're not fitness experts.
We are not.
We are not fitness experts.
No.
We're two dudes.
Consult your doctor before going to the gym.
Which is why you should listen to us. Because we're just like you. We're average.
We ain't average, bro. You know that.
We below average.
Wow. Okay. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for being here. We really do appreciate it. And once again, we'll see you guys next week in episode 21 of the podcast. See you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.